Ladies and gentlemen, I want to speak directly to your heart today about something that is vital to your victory and your peace, something that affects every single one of us, whether we acknowledge it or not. The truth is that there are forces, both seen and unseen, that seek to disrupt, destroy, and derail the great plans that God has for your life. But you need to know that you are not powerless in this battle. You see, life is not merely the physical realm we experience with our senses. There is a spiritual war happening all around us against your purpose, your success, and your peace. You may not see it with your eyes, but that doesn't mean it's not real. Spiritual warfare is as real as the air you breathe, and if you are going to walk in victory, you must recognize this battle and prepare yourself to fight. But here's the good news: you are not alone in this fight, and you have authority. Yes, you have been given the authority to declare and decree over your life. God, the creator of the universe, has equipped you with power that cannot be matched by any evil force. You don't have to wait for someone else to fight your battles. You have the ability to stand up and declare that every evil plan set against your life is canceled. The first step is to declare your authority. Understand who you are in Christ. You are not just a victim of circumstance or a pawn in the hands of fate. You are a child of the Almighty God, and He's given you dominion. You have the power to speak against every curse, every scheme, and every plan that tries to come against you. When you speak with authority, the spiritual realm listens, and every evil plan begins to lose its power. Next, you must identify your enemies, and I'm not just talking about people. The true enemies of your purpose often appear in ways you might not expect. It could be fear, doubt, negative thoughts, or circumstances that seem beyond your control. It might be generational curses or spiritual strongholds that have been in your family for generations. It could even be the attacks of unseen forces designed to make you quit. But you must be able to see the enemy clearly so that you can speak against it directly. This leads us to the most important part of this battle: prayer and faith. Prayer is not a passive act, it is a powerful weapon in your arsenal. When you pray, you invite God's power into every situation. You activate His authority to destroy any evil plan that seeks to hinder your progress. But prayer without faith is ineffective. Your faith must be unwavering. You must believe that when you pray, God hears you, and He is more than able to intervene in your circumstances. It is through prayer that you can cancel every evil plan and replace it with God's plan for your life. Lastly, you must stay committed to your purpose and destiny. It doesn't matter how loud the opposition is or how many obstacles come your way. You must remain focused. Every attack is meant to discourage you, to pull you off track, and to make you give up. But your purpose is greater than any attack, and it is more powerful than any evil scheme. When you focus on your divine calling, knowing that God is for you and that He has a purpose for your life, no evil plan can prosper. So I encourage you today, stand up and take your place. Cancel every evil plan against your life by declaring your authority, identifying your enemies, praying with faith, and staying committed to your divine purpose. No weapon formed against you shall prosper. God is with you, and He has already equipped you for victory. Now it's time for you to walk in that victory and let no evil force steal your destiny. Recognizing the existence of spiritual warfare is the first step toward understanding the true nature of the battles we face in life. Too many people walk through life unaware that there is a war being fought in the unseen realms that directly affects what happens in the physical world. They may think that the challenges they encounter are merely a result of circumstances or bad luck, but the truth is far deeper than that. You see, the struggles you face in your relationships, your health, your finances, and even your emotional state are not just coincidental. There is a spiritual dimension to every issue you face, and if you fail to recognize this, you will never fully understand why things are happening the way they are. Spiritual warfare is not a concept that should be taken lightly. It is a reality that affects every person regardless of where they are in life. The enemy is actively working to steal, kill, and destroy everything that God has destined for you. His purpose is to keep you distracted, discouraged, and defeated so that you never rise to your full potential. And while the enemy is invisible, his tactics are not. They manifest in the form of doubt, fear, confusion, rejection, temptation, and countless other challenges designed to pull you away from your purpose. The enemy doesn't care if you're good or bad. His only goal is to stop you from fulfilling God's plan for your life. Recognizing spiritual warfare is about understanding that not every attack is personal, but every attack is intentional. The enemy doesn't always use people to come against you. Sometimes his attacks come in the form of circumstances, situations, and even your own negative thoughts. He works through the mind where doubt and insecurity begin to take root. If you do not recognize this battle taking place within your own heart and mind, you will be powerless against it. The first step is realizing that these attacks are not just part of life. They are the enemy's attempts to disrupt your peace, to destroy your purpose, and to prevent you from moving forward in the will of God. When you recognize the existence of spiritual warfare, you begin to see life through a different lens. No longer will you view challenges as random events or mere inconveniences. Instead, you will see them as part of a larger scheme, a scheme designed to shake your faith, confuse your purpose, and hinder your progress. The enemy will use every tool at his disposal to make you feel insignificant, unworthy, or incapable of achieving what God has called you to do. But the truth is, you are not fighting against flesh and blood, but against spiritual forces of evil in high places. This is why the battle is so intense. It is not just a battle for your mind, it is a battle for your soul, your destiny, and your very purpose. Recognizing spiritual warfare empowers you to respond differently. When you understand that your challenges are not simply physical or emotional in nature, but that they are part of a larger spiritual war, you begin to equip yourself with the right weapons. You no longer fight your battles with mere human strength or intelligence. Instead, you turn to God, your refuge and strength, and you put on the full armor of God. You learn to fight with the weapon of prayer, declaring the truth of God's word over every lie the enemy throws at you. You understand that your strength comes from God and that His grace is sufficient to overcome any obstacle. But it starts with the recognition. When you know that spiritual warfare exists, you stop reacting to life's challenges in a passive way. You no longer let fear or frustration dictate your response. You stand firm in the knowledge that you are more than a conqueror, that God has already given you the victory. You understand that the battles you face are not signs of defeat, but opportunities for God to show Himself strong on your behalf. When you recognize the existence of spiritual warfare, you realize that you are not alone. You are part of a larger kingdom, and you have the backing of the most powerful force in the universe, the power of God. So I urge you today, do not allow the challenges you face to overwhelm you. Recognize that there is a battle taking place, but know this: you are equipped for victory. The enemy may throw his fiery darts at you, but you have the shield of faith to quench every one of them. You may be under attack, but you are covered by God's grace and protection. The moment you recognize the existence of spiritual warfare is the moment you step into the authority that God has already given you to defeat every enemy that stands in your way. There is an undeniable truth that you must come to realize today: you have authority over your own life. Too many of us live as if we are helpless, as if the events of our lives are beyond our control, as if we are victims to fate or But I stand before you today to declare a truth that will change the way you see yourself and your situation. You were created with divine authority. You are not just a passenger in your own life, you are the driver. God has entrusted you with the power to speak into your existence, to declare what will happen, and to take control of the narrative that others may have written for you. For too long, many of us have allowed external voices, opinions, fears, failures, even the negativity of others to shape our lives. But here's the reality: the world may try to label you, it may try to limit you, but you have been given dominion. You were not created to be at the mercy of circumstances. You were created to dominate, to rule, and to shape your destiny through the authority God has placed in your hands. You have the power to determine what will and will not happen in your life, not by the force of your will alone, but through your connection with God, who has given you this power. When you declare authority over your life, you are stepping into your rightful place as a child of God. The Bible says that you are a royal priesthood, a holy nation, chosen and set apart. This is not just a statement of identity, it is a statement of power. As a child of the King, you do not have to beg for blessings, you speak them into existence. You do not have to wait for permission to live a life of abundance, purpose, and peace. You already have the authority to claim what is yours. But to walk in this authority, you must first believe that you have it. The power to declare authority over your life begins with the words you speak. In the beginning, God spoke the world into existence. He didn't act timidly or apologize for his words. He declared, and it was so. Similarly, the words you speak hold power. Life and death are in the power of the tongue. What are you speaking over your life? Are you speaking words of defeat, fear, and limitation? Or are you declaring victory, progress, and success? Your words have the ability to shape your reality. When you speak with authority, when you speak as one who knows their divine right to call forth greatness, then you start to align yourself with the very will of God for your life. But declaring authority isn't just about speaking, it's about believing in the depth of your being that you are meant for greatness. It's about understanding that every challenge you face is not meant to break you, but to sharpen you. Every obstacle is an opportunity to exercise your authority and to declare that no matter what the world throws at you, you will not be moved. When you speak with authority, you acknowledge that God has placed within you everything you need to overcome any challenge. You do not need to wait for someone else to validate you because God already has. The authority over your life is not just for your benefit, it is for the benefit of the world around you. You have been given power to influence, to impact, and to lead others to freedom. Your authority can break chains, heal hearts, and restore hope. When you stand firm in the knowledge of who you are and the authority you carry, you become a force for good, a beacon of light in a dark world. Your life is a testament to what happens when someone fully realizes and operates in the divine authority that has been given to them. Don't let anyone or anything rob you of your power. You were born for more than survival. You were born to thrive. When you declare authority over your life, you are declaring that you will no longer be controlled by fear, by the opinions of others, or by the circumstances that surround you. You will no longer be a victim of your past, your mistakes, or your limitations. You are more than conqueror through Christ who strengthens you. And when you stand in that truth, you will watch your life unfold in ways you never thought possible. The time has come for you to take your place. Stop waiting for permission. Stop looking for approval from the world. You have the authority to declare your own future. Take hold of it today. Speak boldly. Act confidently, and know that as you declare authority over your life, you align yourself with the very will of God. He has already given you everything you need to succeed. Now, it's time to walk in it. You cannot fight an enemy you do not recognize. This is one of the most profound truths about life and purpose. If you want to live a life of impact, a life that fulfills your divine calling, you must first be able to identify the enemies that come to oppose it. These enemies are not always as obvious as we might like them to be. They don't always appear with horns or a dark presence. Sometimes they come in the form of thoughts, patterns, circumstances, or even well-meaning people who don't understand the vision you carry. The first enemy you must identify is fear. Fear is a silent killer of purpose. It doesn't just paralyze your actions, it limits your potential before you even try. Fear tells you that you can't, that you're not good enough, that the dream is too big, too bold, or too impossible. Fear whispers, what if you fail? But I want you to know today, fear is not your friend. It is an enemy trying to rob you of your confidence, of your belief in what God has called you to do. Fear is a lie that disguises itself as wisdom, and if you allow it to control you, it will keep you from moving forward. Another enemy of your purpose is doubt. Doubt works hand in hand with fear, but it attacks from a different angle. Where fear says you can't, doubt says, are you sure? It undermines your confidence and clouds your vision. It makes you second guess your decisions and the calling on your life. Doubt often creeps in when you are on the brink of something great, when God is about to open a door, and it tries to get you to question whether you're even qualified to walk through it. But I say to you today, doubt has no place in your life. Doubt is the enemy of faith, and if you want to see the fullness of God's plan, you must rise above it. Then there is distraction. Distractions are subtle and often come in forms that seem harmless. They might look like opportunities that pull you away from your true purpose, or relationships that drain your energy and focus. Distractions can even come from the busyness of life itself, where you're running in circles, doing many things, but none of them are leading you to the destination God has set for you. The enemy of your purpose is not always something negative. Sometimes it's something that looks good but isn't God's best for you. Distractions will keep you from moving with purpose, from walking in alignment with the calling God has placed on your life. If you allow yourself to be distracted, you'll miss the great things God has planned for you. Another enemy that often lurks in the background is negative influences, people who speak words of doubt, criticism, or discouragement into your life. They may not always mean harm, but their words have the power to shape your destiny if you let them. These are the voices that tell you that your dream is too big, too audacious, or too unrealistic. These are the people who don't understand your vision, who try to pull you back to their level of comfort. You must be able to recognize these influences and protect your heart from their negativity. You cannot allow anyone to rob you of your vision, your purpose, or your faith in the plan God has for you. Finally, the most dangerous enemy of all is yourself. The internal struggle is often the hardest to recognize because it comes from within. It is your own self-doubt, your own insecurities, and your own limiting beliefs that stand in the way of your success. You are your own biggest critic, and sometimes you let that inner voice tell you that you're not enough, that you can't do it, that you're not capable of achieving your dreams. You must recognize that the greatest enemy to your purpose is the one who resides in your mind. When you take control of your thoughts and refuse to believe the lies that your mind tries to feed you, you begin to break free from the chains that have held you back. In all of this, the key is to recognize the enemy for what it truly is: a distraction, a lie, a limiting belief, or a force trying to take you off course. But as long as you are aware of these enemies, you have the power to fight them. You have the authority to cast down every thought that exalts itself against the knowledge of God and stand firm in the truth that you are destined for greatness. Identifying the enemies of your purpose is the first step in eliminating their power over your life. When you see them for what they are, you can confront them with the truth, and in that truth you will find the strength to rise above every attack and fulfill the purpose you were created for. There is a divine power available to you that transcends every obstacle, every challenge, and every enemy that may come against you. It is the power of prayer and faith. Prayer is not just a religious activity, it is the very key that opens the door to the miraculous. It is the direct line of communication between you and your Creator, the means through which you align your heart, mind, and spirit with God's will. But what makes prayer truly powerful is the faith that backs it. When you pray with faith, you are not simply speaking into the air, you are releasing heaven's authority on earth. You see, faith is the foundation that gives your prayers power. Without faith, your prayers are merely words. But with faith, your prayers become a declaration, a powerful weapon in the spiritual realm. Faith moves mountains. Faith opens doors that were once shut. Faith brings the invisible into the visible. And it is not just any faith, it is the kind of faith that believes without a doubt that the God you serve is more than able to fulfill every promise He has made to you. When you activate the power of prayer and faith, you are tapping into a realm of possibility that is beyond human comprehension. In the natural world, it may seem impossible to overcome the challenges you face, to defeat the forces working against you, or to achieve the dreams and goals that seem so far out of reach. But when you pray with faith, you are partnering with the Creator of the universe, who spoke the world into existence with His words. Your faith connects you to the limitless power of God. But prayer and faith are not just about asking God for things or requesting help in times of trouble. They are about aligning your heart with His. They are about trusting His timing, His wisdom, and His plan. It is easy to pray for things when you are in need, but prayer with faith is about surrendering your will to His, knowing that His plans for you are better than anything you could have imagined for yourself. It's about trusting Him even when the road ahead seems unclear. And when you pray with faith, you are not only seeking answers, but also inviting transformation. Prayer is not just a transactional exchange, it is a process of growth. When you pray, you are not just speaking to God, you are also allowing Him to speak to you. You are opening your heart to be molded, to be changed, to be aligned with His will. Prayer and faith work together to purify your desires, to sharpen your vision, and to strengthen your resolve. The more you pray with faith, the more you grow in your trust and reliance on God. The more you experience His power, the more you understand His heart for you. In those moments of doubt and uncertainty, when it feels like the weight of the world is pressing down on you, that is when the power of prayer and faith becomes most evident. In the midst of the storm, when everything seems impossible, your prayer connects you to a power that cannot be shaken. Your faith declares that no matter what you see in the natural, you are trusting in a supernatural God who holds all things in His hands. You declare in the face of adversity that He is faithful to His promises. And with each prayer, with each act of faith, you are tearing down strongholds, breaking chains, and seeing your circumstances change. Never underestimate the power that is unlocked when you combine prayer with faith. It is in those moments when you choose to pray in faith that you align yourself with the divine purposes of God. It is in those moments when you declare His word over your life that you begin to see mountains move, walls fall, and doors open. God is ready and willing to move on your behalf, but He is waiting for you to activate that power through your prayer and faith. When you pray with faith, you tap into a power that is unstoppable, and you allow the divine to invade your natural circumstances. So today I encourage you to rise up in prayer and faith. Speak boldly, declare with confidence, and trust with all your heart that God is working on your behalf. There is no force in heaven or earth that can stop what God has set in motion when you pray with faith. The power is in your hands. Activate it. Ladies and gentlemen, as you leave today, remember this: the power of prayer and faith is a gift that has been freely given to you. It is not something distant or unattainable. It is within you, waiting to be activated. Your prayers, combined with unwavering faith, have the ability to move mountains, break barriers, and shift the very atmosphere around you. When you pray with faith, you are engaging with the divine power of God Himself, aligning your heart with His will and unlocking the doors of possibility. Never forget that prayer is not just a moment of asking, it is an invitation for God to transform you and your circumstances. Faith is the fuel that drives those prayers, making them potent and powerful. When you commit to praying with faith, you are taking hold of God's promises and allowing Him to move on your behalf. Now, as you step forward in your life, let every prayer you speak be filled with faith. Let every word you utter be backed by the unshakable belief that God is faithful and that His plan for you will always prevail. The power is in your hands. Activate it today and watch as God transforms your life and circumstances in ways you never thought possible. Thank you.